Race Wars! Sorry, I couldn't resist. Hello, everyone. It is iDarkSymphony777 with another fanfiction review. As always, a link to the stories will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts of the video, and finally, this is my opinion. My opinion is not indicative of everyone in the world, so please respect that. So, the first story I am doing a review of today is Race Wars by Caddix. It is a story that exists. I don't know why, but I kind of like this story. It's all the balls, but let's just talk about it. What's the plot? How do I describe this plot? There is no plot. I wish I could tell you there's a plot, but there's no plot. Okay, there's a semblance of like a single idea that the plot's that to kind of describe the plot, but it's kind of goofy. So this story is basically just Mario Kart deciding to battle Diddy Kong Kart. Ooh. Why are they fighting? I don't know. Why are they doing this? I don't know. Where's the whole point of this? I don't know. It's just there's no purpose or rhyme or reason for anything that happens in this story. It just exists. So basically, yeah, that's basically it with the plot. It's just I don't know how to actually describe it more than that. It's just literally okay. I could see the rationale in this story. It's like, okay, this is made in 2003. This story's old as balls. Mario Kart was released in like the 1990s and kind of dominated and kind of created and dominated the Mario Kart racing, the whole kart racing genre. It still does technically. It's still the best kart racer genre. I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe exists for a reason. You know that. But in the 90s, there was actual competition, mainly from Naughty Dog, I think, that made Crash Team Racing. That was actually a good game. And Rare also made Diddy Kong Kart. Now, you want to know what else Diddy Kong made? Not Diddy Kong. I just realized I said Diddy Kong. I said instead of Rare. Diddy Kong. You want to know what Diddy Kong made? He made it with Diddy. No, wait. He made it with Dixie. Fuck. I'm sorry. This story's stupid, and I'm gonna be stupid. It's just I don't know. Okay, let's go back to the story. You want to know what else Rare made? Diddy Kong Racing. And Diddy Kong Racing was released on the Nintendo 64. I can't remember what year it came out. I think it actually came out in the same year as Mario Kart 64. Not sure, but I probably put in like the description of the video or something like that. I don't know. I'm not bothering to look it up. The story's stupid enough as it is. I'm not gonna have time for that. So the plot is just for some weird reason the characters of Mario Kart and Baby Mario, because I think this story was like released after Double Dash. Probably Double Dash or something like that. And the characters from Diddy Kong Racing decide we're just gonna race. Is there a reason why they're racing? No. Is there a purpose why? Like, there's no background behind it. There's no tangible reason for a victory besides pride, maybe. It's just we're racing now. Deal with it. It's so over the top and just weird. And even like the synopsis right here, it's just simple. The Mario animated race war saga. Read it all. It's done. Short to the point, brief. First off, it's script. However, I'm going to give this story kind of a pass for the script because I honestly hate script writing unless it's like a comedy story, like 64 DS Kara. That story was like pretty funny, and I liked it more. And the script writing kind of played into its like more wacky nature of it. This is more. This is just over the top dumb shit. Is this story good? I'm skipping everything. This story doesn't make sense. Neither am I. Does anything in this story make sense? No. Is this story good? No. If I am being objective, this is quite honestly the worst read. But it's so bad, and I like it. It doesn't try to hide the fact it's stupid. It doesn't try to hide the fact it's bad. It's just in your face. I'm just gonna make the dumbest shit ever. Have fun, and I think that's why I kind of like this story. It's so ridiculous and dumb that's not even trying to hide the fact it's ridiculous enough that I like it. It's silly. Is there anything more to like the interconnecting of this story? Because like, oh, it's technically a crossover, but it's technically not because because the Donkey Kong world is connected to Nintendo because Donkey Kong and stuff like that. It's just and it's the only difference is Diddy Kong. The Diddy Kong games were like made by Rare, which is like a different company, and they were in the '90s and like early 2000s. They were working with Nintendo for a bunch of stuff, and then they went to Microsoft, and then but Banjo Kazooie, that's some bullshit happened, and everyone just told them to fuck off. Told the entire company, fuck off. Uh, there is some content in this story. Sorry, I actually just woke up like 20-30 minutes ago. There is some content to the story. For one thing, everyone just keeps talking about the balls. No, no reason. It's like seems to be like a big thing in the story. It's like we're gonna prove to those guys we have balls. No, we're not gonna have balls. And this is coming from Baby Mario. We have melons. It's like, what about Peach? What about me? You don't have. It's like, It's like, okay, you have balls on your chest. I'll accept that. And even the characters do it. Like, we're gonna prove to those Mario Kart jumps that we have big bananas. It's like, fucking hell. This is so stupid. I think it's even stupider as time goes on because everyone seems to like talk about sex, including the baby. But it's like, fine, okay, this is meant to be stupid. I want to see this stupid. There's a part Toadette is like weirdly called Fuchsia. Like, just call her Toad. Like, you call Toad Toad, but the author goes like, Toadette, yeah, Fuchsia. We're gonna call her Color. Why? I don't know. And like the Koopalings are all named after like their Mario cartoon counterparts. Like, we're not getting Wendy. She's called Cootie Pie, and she's also a nymphomaniac who watches Yoshi's big old dino dick, big old dino dick, and so does Birdo. And like Yoshi's like, yeah, baby, I own Yoshi. and then Toad's like, no, I need to prove I'm the best witcher in the world. So I'm gonna do like this ritual that calls for me making myself bleed, pouring the blood into a goblet, using something on it, and then just drinking it. Okay. Okay, that's weird. And then it gets weirder. We're like Peach dating Luigi, Mario dating Daisy, Peach beating the BDSM for some reason, Toadette being from a family of nymphomaniacs. Okay, implied implied pedo. I can't even say the word because how stupid it is. Implied pedophilia because I don't know if this is around the time because like at the end of the story, Donkey Kong Jr. has sex with Tiny Kong, and I don't know if this is around the time Tiny Kong got her uh big glow up, but it's just like it's weird and it's over the top. And then near the end, this group of Yoshis that call themselves the Y Team, which is I shit you not a group of super powered Yoshis who all own a wrestling league, and Yoshi is one of them. And it's like, what the actual fuck? And they make all these courses designed as like, now we're gonna kill we're just gonna have these dangerous courses, and like one that even has like Diddy Kong and Mario Kart. Mario like gets so confused over the whole thing. It's like give up, give up, and they just go full on hell no. They're just gonna fucking give up. And he gets like nuts, like, motherfucker, he's like, oh, no, that's torture. We ain't gonna put that on our worst enemy. Yeah, we may have balls. We don't have that ball. We don't have those kind of balls. It's so stupid. And then there's Shadow, and then another villain just randomly shows up. It's like, nah, I'm senseless. I'm senseless. I'm out. Takes Mario and Diddy and just kidnaps them. It's like, you're gonna race in this empty void. And then he doesn't even show the ending of the race. Because for some reason, a running gag in this fic is like Mario Diddy completely unable to finish a race. For whatever reason, they can't finish a race. Every time they race, something happens. It's like we can't finish it. And even on the last race, where you think like, oh, there's just one flag, just whoever grabs it wins to their side. And it's like, it doesn't show because it's like, yeah, we're not gonna show the result. Just so they probably finish it, maybe. Like, and then the final thing is like the villain just going up. It's like, I do wonder who won that race. It's like, and then she because it's a girl, she's like, wait a minute, wait, it was recorded. Oh, that's who won. Okay, then, good to know. And then the story just ends like that. It's like, this story is so stupid. Oh, this story is so stupid. Character, what? This is like an adventure. No, this is this is a comedy. I mean, Toad man, he's like wanting to prove that he's like inadequate, and he feels bad for like not wanting to be like the weak link, so he replaces himself. So after he does like his goblin thing, he replaces himself with a Shadow who's like lost, and Toad was lost too, but he was found. And it's supposed to be like a reference to Limbo, like souls that are stuck in limbo haven't went to heaven or hell and are just kind of stuck in the middle, and like you can actually get them like if you do a process, you can actually switch places with them and get them like temporary out of limbo and do a job for you. I mean, that's honestly not a bad idea. Like, just I can just do this process, summon a guy from like who hasn't gone to heaven or hell because he's stuck in limbo, and just kind of, hey, I need you to clean my house. Like, all right. It's so stupid. Um, that's it. That's really just it. That's just Toad. Um, like grammar. I mean, the grammar's fine. Like, okay, There's lots of run-on sentences, but it could be worse. Like it definitely could be worse. When the only issue with the grammar is just having a run-on sentences at times. That's fine. Pacing, script script stories are very hard to tell how they're paced because okay, this is supposed to be a high octane anime style racing fic, but since there's no dialogue, well, it's pretty much 90% dialogue. It's so hard to tell how well paced this is in conjunction with what it's trying to tell. I can't, don't know. I'm gonna leave this one inconclusive. I just don't know. Would I recommend the story? No, no. Is it? Will you be entertained for this story? Yeah, it's because of how stupid it is. But are you going into the story? But if you're going into the story expecting, I want to read something good, this ain't it. This story shit, and I can't recommend it. I can only recommend it if you're looking for a laugh. That's it. Because this story falls square under it's so bad it's good. That's it. You're, the story's not expecting you to think it's a good story. It's not going to hide the fact it's bad. You just read it for the fun. It's just a funsy story that just laugh at for how dumb it is. And that's really it. Do I have a favorite part? There is actually a pretty funny moment in this story that actually involves Toda. I mean Fuchsia, where like I think it's around because there's like 14 chapters. I think it's around here, around here, and the part has because it's around the time where Toad and Shadow are switched, and Shadow's trying to tell Toad that like Toad's on his way back, he'll be fine. Just just do your thing. And Toadette starts complaining about how she misses Toad, and then basically everyone in like the little box that they were watching the race, they slowly turn to her. It's like, Toad, have you been getting any? And it's like, can I focus on the race? It's like, DK, what do you think of the race? It's like, no, I agree with him. Are you getting some? It's like, dude, it's like, Luigi, are you gonna say anything? Yeah, I'm actually curious. Have you been getting any? It's just kind of stupid. Because Toad's like, no, I'm trying to focus on the race. I'm asking me if I had any. It's like, no, we must know. Toda, have you been getting the segs? And it's just so stupid, but it's funny. Especially since later in this, like a couple of chapters later, she like reveals, no, I'm a fucking nymphomaniac. Toad, I'm feeling romantical. It's so stupid. Uh, let's move on to something. Let's move on to something different. Snarkymen Fever by Emerald. God damn it. Okay. I'm done. Uh, Pray for me, can I get over it? Conan, get some now! Oh, 10 minutes later. Toad, I want some! I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Okay. I'm done. Over. Come on. I have my fun. Snarkyman Fever, but okay, I gotta control myself. Snarkyman Fever by Emerald 8. This is a Kappa Mikey fanfiction. And I only grabbed this because a friend of mine, thank you, Mean King, for sending me the link to the entire first season of Pepper Mikey. Because honestly, I probably would have praised the story more if I didn't know if I didn't actually watch a few episodes. But now that I actually saw a few episodes, I kind of the story's not as good as you would think. So it is a humor story. It is for those of you who know what Kappa Mikey is. Kappa Mikey is I believe it was early 2000s show about a failing anime show in Japan, like trying to revitalize the comic to kind of keep them all on the job. So they hire a guy named Kappa Mikey, Mikey from America to kind of become the new main character. And the whole show is it's basically like a caricature of Japan. Like it's kind of poking fun at a lot of Japanese tropes and a lot of Japanese products in Japan in general. It's very lighthearted. It's also the show doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just we're just gonna make fun of like the inherent goofiness on like Japanese products and stuff like that. It's all tongue in cheek. It is very like stuck in the time. So it's like not like a lot of shows around that time where like you have lessons and stuff like that. No, this one kind of relies on having to make fun of like what was popular in Japan at the time. So it's a neat time capsule into that time, into like the early 2000s Japan whole thing. So the story starts with like a random episode of Capcom of and we have Gonard. He's doing him and Mike are doing the whole spiel, and they do a reference to Pokemon because, of course, Snarkymen because of course. I'm surprised they haven't. Did they make fun of Pokemon with how big Pokemon is? You think Captain Mikey would have made fun of it in the show? I didn't see the whole show. I only saw like 2 or 3 episodes. Alright. Anyway, so the plot involves them on the shoot, and they do the whole spiel. They do like a whole little skit show and stuff like that. Kind of filming for an episode. And Gonard, a big purpley man, that's definitely not Goku, pulls out a cube. Does the whole Pokemon reference. He summons a big old dragon. Mikey pulls another cube, rolls it out, summons Guano, who is forcibly stuffed into the cube. They do the whole. They goof off. They kind of talk about Kappa. Kappa actually asked Guano. I keep messing up Guano and Gonard. Asking Guano like, "What's with the cubes?" And they reference Snarkymen, who's been around for 100 years. Pokemon hasn't been around for that long, but it feels like it. And every time they come back, it's like the most popular thing in the world. So we gotta chase the trend, otherwise we'll probably be left in the dust. It's like once it dies down, we'll just go back to normal stuff like that. However, our Mike kind of messed up because he was supposed to put a plushie that was owned by Mitsuki into the cube, but he kind of put Guano in. And okay, Ozu kind of shows up. Ryan wonder why is episode not airing yet? Yes, Apple Ozu. They revealed that it kind of messed up like something, and I didn't help that Gunnar kind of ate the film. It was like, yeah, this show tastes delicious. And basically, Ozu like gives him a time. I was like, okay, you're gonna record. Okay, you have to get the episode out by the rest of the day. Good. And then Yes Man kind of gets launched out a window. That's what Bounty does. And also, the plushie, they kind of get the plushie, the cube, and they have the plushie, Mitsuki's plushie and stuff like that. They redo the whole scene again. They kind of cut some corners because it's like instead of going out reaching for his left pocket, he gets his right pocket. And he kind of does the whole thing, and now the dragon's like as a muzzle because it's starting to destroy the set. Mikey does the whole thing, power the cube, but now Mitsuki's plushie in it kind of doesn't open. They cut. It's like, oh well, it's just a simple fix. Just gotta wedge it open. It's like, And so, they can't get the cube open. So Mitsuki's like, I remember my training, my spy training. Kicks the cube what Mikey's holding it because he's like, we can't get it open. We're just gonna try. We're just gonna try the best. Gets them flying. Donard saves Mikey. Doesn't save the cube. So now the cube and also Mitsuki's plushie is like flies out the window. So it's like, oh shit, we gotta find it. So the story then just kind of revolves around Mikey and Mitsuki kind of just wandering around trying to find the plush. Lily just kind of passes out from ending up kind of going through a storm drain. Don't ask how that's physically possible for it's a cartoon. Cartoon physics don't definitely apply here. Goes to a pizza store and kind of annoys a samurai pizza cat because of course because you gotta make fun of samurai pizza cats for some reason. The birds for that show. And then Guano it gets inadvertently turned into like a Snarkymen by like two annoying kids. It's like, hey, we're gonna beat you. We need you to level up. Okay, beat this caterpillar. Level up. And the story is just very goofy as Mikey and Mitsuki trying to find the plushie and a zombie invasion gets involved. Don't ask me how, it happens. And it ends with the owner of the pizza store, the Samurai Pizza Cat, actually getting the plushie. He's like, this is my most famous collection. He's like, didn't you just get it like 5 minutes ago? It's like, oh, it's been my prized possession since 5 minutes ago. It's like, oh, I'll fight you for it. It's like, okay. It's like, we will have a contest. And then Yes Man shows up. He's like, a contest for wheels! I've been fighting zombies! Where'd you get that shotgun? Don't question Yes Man! And the contest is like, kill all those zombies by sundown, and whoever wins gets the plushie. And of course, Mikey wins. They get the plushie. They try to find Guano because he's like the only one still missing. They find Guano. He's like the boy. He's like, okay, I'll trade you. I'll trade you the plushie for Guano. Like, should we do it? He kind of sucks. Guano. No, please don't kill. Please save me. I get it. And it's like, wait, we need the plushie for the It's like, oh, this is. And then Mitsuki goes, wait, I just remember my spy powers again. And steals the I think beats up the boys and gets the plushie back. And hilariously, they break the fourth wall at the end. We're just like, what? Don't we usually when we do the rewrites? Don't we usually rewrite it after a lesson we learned today? Like a very helpful lesson. Like, what's the point? Well, it doesn't feel like we learned anything here. Like, what about the plushie? It's like, well, you stole the plushie back. I don't think that applies. Right. And then the story just ends with them like realizing, wait, there was no lesson today. And the elevator's just closed. It's a silly story. Old and badly written. It's old, like 13 years old at this point. Badly written. I don't think it's badly written. I'll tell you why in a minute. Character-wise, honestly, this is meant to emulate the whole writing style of the show. It's very wacky. It's very visually oriented. It doesn't really make a lot of sense because again, that's what Kappa Mikey. That's kind of the whole point of Kappa Mikey. A lot of stuff just doesn't make sense. The issue I have with the story when it comes from the character presentation and probably the whole story as a whole is yes, it's being faithful to try and emulate the whole stick with Kappa Mikey when it comes to its humor. The problem is, I think the author did too good a job on that. Kappa Mikey is a very visually comedy-centric show. A lot of the jokes rely random stuff happening in the background, like everyone just doing like the weirdest shit at all times, even if it makes no sense in the context of the story. And it's all visual. Like there's gonna be like gags in the background. People are just gonna randomly just Nike or Gonard or any of the other characters just gonna do random stuff like randomly in like the middle of a conversation. Like it's just it it does make a lot of sense trying to emulate that. The problem is the author did such a good job trying to emulate the story. It kind of comes off as backfiring in a way, where it's so where it doesn't it actually doesn't translate that well to writing. Again, this comes down to the fact Captain Mikey is when it comes to Captain Mikey's comedy is strictly visual. Visual comedy doesn't directly benefit translating to word. That's just because visual is like you have to physically see it in order to kind of understand the whole thing. By trying to make it one for one, it kind of causes a lot of that the whole visual comedy aspect of the writing to kind of detract from the story. So instead of pushing the story forward, it kind of all the visual comedy is just constantly just kind of get in the way and interrupt the flow of the story. Again, I see where the author's coming from. Is trying, with emulating the writing style. It just didn't work in this thing. It just really didn't work in this case. But props for props too. If I'm going to give points for authenticity to the writing style, this story is very authentic to the show. It just simply didn't work in this case. Grammar, I think the grammar is fine. I think the pacing is fine. I think this is like there's nothing really inherently wrong with the story. The jokes that aren't reliant on visuals still do land. Uh, the it's really just it just really needed better structure to kind of balance, or probably just take out a lot of the visual gags. But that would backfire because author's trying to stay authentic to Kappa Mikey. So it's honestly a catch-22 with the story in terms of the humor. Like you understand, like if the author tried to be authentic, but then the story kind of suffers as a result. But then if you remove the visual comedy elements, but then the story also suffers as a result because you're trying to be authentic to the story to the show it's based off. So I so this story is just kind of just stuck in a corner. So it kind of makes it hard to blame the author for saying badly written because the author's trying to be authentic to the show. It didn't work out. I'm not gonna blame the author for this because at the end of the day, I think the author did as good a job as they could have, and I don't really see any reason to want to fix anything with this story. Because again, it's the catch-22. Would I recommend this story? I would only recommend it if you're a fan of Captain Mikey. I think if you're looking for a story that stays true to the show it's based off, this is a good story. But it's not a good story for anyone else because this story relies so much on knowing a pretty obscure show, understanding that a lot of the stuff that badly causes the story to flow kind of wonky is due to the fact you're also trying to be authentic to the show. But it had a very simple premise. It's a very episodic story. The characters were very made sense. The pacing I think was pretty good. It was short. It was short, but not too short to kind of. It's not like the author didn't cut corners. It was long enough to kind of get the point across, to at least to get the jokes to land. So nothing was really wrong except for the visual humor just didn't land. And even then, it might not land for me, but it may land for other people. It's just, humor being subjective also. I don't really have anything wrong with the story besides, just being too authentic, if anything else. But other than that, it's still a show that relies on people knowing the ins and outs of the show. So probably if I send the story to my friend Meme, he probably get a kick out of it because he's a fan of the show. Favorite part? Probably the guano sections. It's like it's kind of goofy. It plays on the trope of some of the tropes of Pokemon. It's like we're gonna make you train until you horribly evolve and become stronger and ascend It pokes fun at it. It pokes fun at it. I think it's a neat little parody of Pokemon, especially since Guano kind of plays off the two boys. It makes sense. Again, a lot of jokes there kind of play at least make sense for me. So I kind of like it. Would I change anything? Again, I wouldn't change anything because again, you just kind of in a no-win situation with the story. So I'm gonna err on the side of caution and just not change anything. So yeah, that is Snarkymen Fever and Race Wars. These have been Dark Symphony 777, and